Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'd like to welcome you to this video and also thank you for lending me your ears as I talk and give my thoughts and opinions on why Star Wars Episode 8 The Last Jedi is a failure. I'm Almec. First off, I want to start by saying this is an excellent film visually. Special effects, CGI and character designs are without a doubt beautiful. I personally loved how Finn sported a loose white shirt, reminiscent to Han's cliche outfits of the 80s. The spaceships looked visually pleasing and kept true to the originals, bar the fact that each time the First Order appears they bring a bigger ship than the last, but I can forgive that. The music and audio were top notch, but this was to be expected seeing as the legend that is John Williams scored it. The final good point I will say is personally I enjoyed the humour, even though at times it was slightly awkward. The first part of the first act had me smiling to myself, as Poe Dameron seemingly trolled General Hux, giving the Resistance vital time to escape. Now that I have the good aspects of the film out of the way, I want to say that I will be addressing major spoilers from this point on, so you've been warned. Let's move on to how we catch up with Rey and Luke, continuing from where we last left off at the end of The Force Awakens. Rey stares at Luke, tears forming in her eyes. He stares back, confusion and dread seemingly pour over his face. His look intensifies as he glances down. For in her hands, Rey is reaching out, passing him the visual icon of Star Wars, the holy bible of the franchise, his long-lost lightsaber. A relic of the past, such history rests within its scorn hilt. This is one item that has been held to such high regards above all others. And what does Luke do when he takes it off Rey? Does he ignite it, admiring its blue hue? Does he cherish its craftsmanship? Does it bring back a rush of memories of Obi-Wan, passing it on to him? No. Instead he tosses it over his shoulder. It was at this point when I realised that the tone of the movie had influenced even the greatest characters. Never in my mind would I think that an item of such high regards within the Star Wars film series would be tossed asunder, thrown to the wind like trash. And why? For a cheap laugh. Only people who don't know the history of this item would find this moment amusing. Rian Johnson must have thought this was a brilliant trope, as to show how Luke had lost his faith in the Jedi Order. In reality, all it achieved was me losing faith for the rest of the film. This truly shows how lackluster this film is, getting a quick chuckle from a shocking moment. Johnson must have failed to comprehend how high in regards Luke's original lightsaber is held in the eyes of us fans. Either way, we continued on following the plot of The Last Jedi. Soon enough we catch up with our friends again on the Resistance ships. They are being tracked through hyperspace by the First Order, and so they can't jump away to safety. So, what do? They start booking it slowly through the void of space, outpacing the First Order just enough so the fighters can't swarm them. But then, just as it starts, we see Kylo Ren come along with two accompanying TIE fighters. Long story short, they blow open the bridge of the capital ship, shooting the generals all into the void of space. They killed Admiral Akbar. What the fuck? Seeing as people care very little about him, let's get on to Leia. This would have been a very dramatic send-off for Carrie Fisher, showing how she died doing what she loved and for her beliefs. That hope will live on through others. But no, we see her frozen corpse floating through the vacuum of space. She suddenly twitches, her eyes open. We then start to realise that she is moving closer and closer to the destroyed bridge, flying through space, wielding the Force so proficiently as to save her life, ensuring her survival. Not ever in the whole film series have we seen power like this being wielded so effortlessly. Yeah, we know Leia has ties to the Force. We see this in prior movies when she has a link with Luke, but never to my knowledge have we seen her use it in such a way to survive an explosion and also to fly through space. She hasn't even lifted an apple, yet she can suddenly call upon it to save herself from certain death. Why? Because this film's a joke, that's why. Anyway, let's move on to another odd point that I will touch on briefly, as I want to address more major points afterwards. Do you remember that time when the Death Star ran out of fuel? Or what about when the Falcon forgot to top up before venturing out? Yeah, me neither, but for some reason the capital ship of the Resistance seems to run out of petrol, diesel, or some other fossil fuel. And guess what? The gas light's on. So the capital ship needs a top up. What a load of bollocks. Whoever came up with this plot point, whether it be Rian Johnson, Bob Duxey, or Kathleen Kennedy, I must say bravo on your failure. In a universe where anything is possible, you make the good guy's biggest downfall being the size of their gas tank. And who says size doesn't matter? Anyways, let's continue. Whilst all this is happening in the background, we catch up with Rey. She's now met up with Kylo Ren. She felt the goodness in his heart, and he's lured her onto Snoke's main vessel using his emotions in order to string her to his side. We are made to feel that this is the point that could actually save the movie. Adam Driver does a brilliant job of showing us the conflict that his character is facing. He's constantly being belittled by Snoke and also having to come to terms with killing his own father. Either way, Rey and Kylo both come face to face with Supreme Leader Snoke, a villain with so much potential. His character looks amazing, his distorted features really push home how menacing a guy this is. Who is he? Is he the fabled Darth Plagueis returned from the dead? What has he actually gone through? How did he get that damage? I really wanted to know. But all we've ever been told as fans is that he's seen it all. He was there before and after the Clone Wars. He has powers that seem to rival the almighty Luke Skywalker. He boasts about how he can kill them and he can't wait. The Praetorian Guards surround him. These are the elite of the elite, chosen to provide protection to the Supreme Leader of the First Order. We see how he toys with the two children who stand before him, throwing one around like a rag doll while the other cowers at his feet. So, who is Snoke? Turns out he's just a plot device that Rian Johnson must have despised seeing around, as he was so easily thwarted by Kylo Ren. To put it simply, we get no new information on Snoke. We don't get any information on his backstory, we don't get any information on why he hates the Jedi, and we don't get any information on his overall agenda. Snoke gets tossed to the side, thrown away. Potentially one of the strongest villains in all of Star Wars gets bested by an edgy teenager. And why? Because there has to be a reason for Kylo Ren to say, "Join me, we can rule together," as a pathetic cheap throwback to the originals. Great work once again with this one. It's at this moment we learn another key piece of information that fans have been speculating for years, grasping at straws to get. Just who are Rey's parents? Who gave birth to what we as viewers can see is clearly an exceptional Force wielder. Her metachlorian count must be on par with that of Yoda or Anakin. Surely this is the second coming of a child of the Force. Or maybe she could have a lineage dating as far back as the first Jedi, clarifying how she is able to work with the Force so well and with virtually no training. Or could she even be Obi-Wan's granddaughter, an ingenious throwback and commemoration to a fan favourite? But no, it turns out her parents are scavengers who have no backstory or history. Once again this shows how Disney, or Johnson, or whoever has no respect or knowledge of the fanbase that love and truly adore this franchise so much. I found this the pinnacle point of the movie where I thought to myself, yep, this is worse than episode 1. Disney has taken what Star Wars is and was and moulded it in a way to push an agenda that no one asked for. Star Wars was once a space opera, a Hamlet-esque film portraying love and danger, disaster and death, but now it's just a film for a new generation. It's like the Force Awakens trailer said, anyone can have the Force. You have it, I have it, apparently my dog has it, my toaster has it, everyone has it. It sickens me to the nth degree to see how Star Wars has been milked dry. The notion of Mary Sue, where characters are powerful and nothing can stop them, is highly evident throughout the new movies. We see how Rey, a nobody, beats elite guards, lift mounds of boulders and can fly as good as Han Solo. We see how Poe Dameron, a seemingly forceless chap, can be as good as a pilot as Anakin or Luke. He's known as the new fly guy. And to this I just have to simply say, no, that's stupid. In the end, this movie has the music of Star Wars, the characters of Star Wars, ships and weapons of Star Wars, but it isn't Star Wars. If this film came out under any other name, it would work and actually be good. But alas, new franchises are harder to work with than old ones. I think the most sickening thing about this film is how critics say it's good. It's highly ironic how my love for Star Wars will die with a round of thunderous applause and stunning reviews.